I want to bring Art Cueto in on this, and Art is the vice president of the National Border Patrol Council. So what have you been telling, or what have Border Patrol officers been hearing here the last couple of days with all this back and forth? What type of instructions?
Look, it's just frustrating for the agents in general, everything that this administration has done. They've done everything in their power to block law and order at the border. Now we have something like this that, is going back and forth within the state of Texas. And Mexico turns around and says they're not going to take them in, which, we understand that that's what they can do. The reason they were taking them in under the last administration is because you had a president that actually was able to get with the Mexican president and say, look, this is what we need done, and ask for the assistance and make the proper agreements. Unfortunately, the way it's looking, even if Texas is able to do this, they're going to have to detain them, turn them over to Border Patrol. They're going to end up asking for asylum and getting released. It's going to be the same thing because Mexico is just not willing to do it. And they're not willing to do it, again, because this administration is not willing to work it out with them.
All right, so it's a state of limbo, essentially, for Border Patrol and for everybody else that's involved in this in one way, shape, or form, state officials as well. They put that legal limbo up on the screen because it's been interesting to watch just in terms of time frame, again, as we were talking about a moment ago. But see, the other day, March 18th, before 5 p.m., this was not in effect. Then after, from 5 p.m. to 5:04, the stay expires. It's in effect. From 5:04 that day to 2:05 p.m. the next day, the stay is extended. Not in effect again. But then, yesterday, March 19th, 2:05 to 10:45, Supreme Court gets in, denies the pending application. So it's in effect. Last night, 10:45, appeals court, not in effect. And I was nervous about even putting that up there because who knows, another ruling might come in today. So that's, people say, oh, it's chaotic. And I know you'll probably tell me, Art, it was already chaotic on the border. That's the whole point. However, this does add kind of a new wrinkle.
It does, and it's a yo-yo, and it's a back and forth that you continue to see from people that want law and order and people that just, they haven't cared for 3 years at all in this administration, and that's where the issue is. Look, at the end, the Border Patrol agents, their job is going to be the same. This is more something that's going to affect, the state troopers, the local law enforcement,
right,
than anything. But it's just very shameful. Honestly, it's shameful. What is this? This is something that the state of Texas is asking. They're asking for law and order. That's what they're asking for. And this administration just continues to, honestly, it does surprise me because you would hope that at some point, some people would wake up, look at the reality of what's happening to our country and say, you know what? I was wrong. Enough is enough. We do need law and order. But no, they refuse to do that. They continue to add these obstacles. And it's just very, very frustrating for the entire community, law enforcement. It's frustrating for the residents of Texas. And frankly, it'll continue to be frustrating for the American public because it's not, if this goes into effect and they stop it, the cartels who run the southern border, they'll just start moving operations elsewhere where they know they can get protecting people across.
Let me ask you a little bit then, that's interesting points about the merits of the law itself, the back and forth between the federal authorities and the local law enforcement. This is from the appeals court that blocked the law in the Fifth Circuit. Chief Judge Priscilla Richmond with this. Quote, this is the first time it seems to me that a state has claimed that they have the right to remove illegal aliens. I mean, this is not a power that historically has been exercised by the states, has it? So it is new, right? I mean, this is and what do you think about the merits of the actual law?
Look, it's new, but it just adds to the frustration. What do you do when you constantly, you're trying to defend your home, and in this case, the state of Texas, and you have another entity, which is the federal government above you, just continuously blocking everything you're trying to do. Governor Abbott, he tried when he tried to put more barriers. They told him he had to remove them. They put the buoys. They told him he had to remove. So every single thing that that law and order is trying to get across, not to protect Texas, but to make sure that the future and other states in the United States are safe, they get blocked from this administration. It's just, that's the frustration. That's what it comes. It comes down to the old, the good and evil fight again. And unfortunately, this administration continues to ignore what's going on. They've ignored what's happening in Texas. They've ignored what's happening throughout the entire border. Look, I'm down in Arizona, and I can tell you that currently Arizona continues to lead the entire country when it comes to gotaways. That's the individuals that are coming through and they're not being detained, knows how they are, and that's because agents are too preoccupied having to do the processing. And what has this administration done for 3 years? Nothing but continue to add obstacles and stopping law enforcement from performing their duties.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.